MyMichelleLive podcast.
MyMichelleLive. Sports Timeout. The fans, the field, the faith, the fun. Here's
Michelle and the team ready to play and knock it out of the park with another week of sports stories, some big crazy stuff, and we always take it on. And in the midst of it all, we look for the God story. And that's what it's really all about if you want to be on a winning team. Let me introduce you to the players today. We have with us pastor, player, chaplain, and all-around cool guy sporting U.S. men's national team garb, Garrick Payne.
Get ready to get...
We have with us the one and only Brent R. Baker.
Author, photographer, Brent R. Baker.
And we have with us Wookiee of the Year,
Wookiee of the Year, Josh McMillan.
And I'm Michelle Mendoza. I do more than just try to look cute and let the big boys talk. So it is a little different in this sports game. Because first of all, I'm not that cute. And secondly, I can't shut up. So there you go. Guys, hey. Happy holidays, getting geared up for Christmas. And I have absolutely loved, like Thanksgiving, I loved it because the one and only Thanksgiving in my lifetime that I will probably ever get to sit and watch the World Cup. How cool was that?
I know. It's unusual having the World Cup at this time of year, but it's been certainly exciting.
It's been better than breakfast at Wimbledon because you can get up at 2 a.m. for the first couple of weeks. That was stretching it for me. But yeah, it's been fun to have those games on.
So y'all going to get up at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning for the big USA game?
Heck yeah.
Well, I have a puppy, so I don't have a choice. She'll get me up, and that'll help me be a little less grouchy about it.
I will be at the local not just sports bar, but the soccer bar here in Seattle. So I will be there bright and early. Josh, have you been following World Cup?
A little bit. I've been sick the last week or so I've missed a lot of what's going on, but I've been following the news about it. It's hard to not at least follow it a little bit. And Jordan Morris out there representing Seattle on a national stage is pretty cool. And it's funny because there's a large segment of the fan base around America that gets angry whenever you bring up soccer because they're like, I don't want to talk about soccer. I'm like, look, every 4 years you get excited about curling. I'm pretty sure you can get up for soccer the same way. You know? Like, calm down.
This is America.
Hilarious. It's true.
Yeah, it's crazy. And the rest of the world, though, nobody is watching anything but soccer. And
I know people that only get TV this time of year every 4 years. They only subscribe to cable or something or whatever just so they can watch these games. And it is still big in the U.S. for the right crowd, but there's still the crowd that is very against it. And part of me gets it. Again, I hate the flopping. The flopping bugs me. Okay?
Well, you have a solution for that.
I do. Let me find my document here. I put some proposed changes together for how we fix soccer and make it more palatable for a general audience here in America.
I can't wait to hear this.
Number one, the field is a little big. I think we need to shrink the field down so that you got more concentrated action. And then too many players on the field too, which can decrease scoring. So limit it to 3 forwards, 2 defenders, and a goalie. Number 3, players should get to come in and out whenever you want. Just unlimited substitutions, get people moving in and out, keep the action going, keep the legs fresh, right?
Without stopping play.
Yeah, without stopping play. Just hot swap your people when, as needed. Shrink the goal, make it a decent size smaller. So it is more difficult to get it in there. Number 5, ice everywhere.
All right.
Hard in Qatar,
There's a conspiracy happening here.
I believe that the proposed changes will reduce flopping in soccer.
And then flatten the ball
Flatten the ball. Make it
Put
about this
everybody on a
big.
stick.
We want a small pancake, is what we
Yeah.
actually
Put everybody
want.
on stage.
And maybe use sticks instead of kicking it. That's another idea I had.
Uh,
Brilliant, Josh.
well, I will
Brilliant.
have to tell you, you guys, this has been the most exciting World Cup in history in terms of
Craziness.
upsets and craziness and a team winning by the number of, this is a new fair play rule, so that a team got through based on yellow card accumulations. It has really been interesting and exciting. Some upsets, the teams that you would expect to go through, teams like Belgium and Germany were knocked
Yes.
out of the group stage.
That was
Uruguay
crazy.
as well.
And what about Japan and the Japan-Spain? I'm pulling up that news story, but that was crazy. There was a goal that I'm not so convinced it should have been a goal.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that
I
one?
have
I'll
to-
see if
I
I can
was-
pull it up.
I think I've rooted as hard for anyone other than the U.S. as I did for Costa Rica yesterday playing Germany. That for a few minutes there, Costa Rica was ahead of Germany 2-1 and midway through the second half. And they were in the same group with Spain beat Costa Rica 7-0 in their first game. And for about 2-3 minutes, Spain was tied with, who were they playing? Japan. Spain was tied with Japan and Costa Rica was winning. Costa Rica would have moved on and Spain would have been left at home. Just an insane the action that was going. It was the sort of soccer game that you want people who are new to the game to watch, because both Costa Rica and Germany had to win the game. There was no settling for a tie. And it meant that they had to sacrifice defense to try to get a goal. And so the ball was just going end to end and lots of shots and some incredible saves. And
I want you guys to look at this picture.
It's a fun one to watch.
I don't know if you can see that. Can you see this, Josh?
Yeah.
Okay, check this out. This was a goal. There was a goal scored after this sequence that has the ball there. And they said, no, that was in bounds. And that cost the game. You guys
from
tell
that
me.
angle, it was
You
from
can't
that
from
angle,
that angle,
it was
though.
out of
Yeah,
bounds.
it's off the ground, so it's really hard to tell
And
where
they
the ball
have
actually is.
they have all kinds of crazy technology now that can actually show you based on where the ball is and everything like
Yeah,
that.
whatever.
So I don't question that.
I do. I absolutely question that. I'm sorry, Mr. Obey the
Well, things
rules,
like
and I don't question
like in
authority
the-
all the time, but I'm telling you, I was looking at it. I was looking at it slow
Yeah,
mo.
I can question it, but I think
frame
it's
by
one of
frame.
those-
And it is,
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you, honestly, I looked at it frame by frame from a bunch of angles, and it did not look clear and obvious. I'll put it that way. You could say maybe it was absolutely not clear and obvious. Boom.
What was the original ruling?
That it was out of bounds.
Oh,
I
so
didn't,
they
I didn't
reversed.
see it.
So they reversed
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
I
see,
didn't
that's,
see it while
that's
it
where
was
I would
going
run
on.
into a problem with it. I agree, it's not clear and obvious. So
No.
to change it from no goal to a
And
goal,
what about
that,
the U.S., their second goal? We won anyway. Thank you, Jesus. But can you thank Jesus for stuff like that? Oh, no, Pastor.
Thank Jesus for any and everything.
As long as you're willing to thank him, your team doesn't lose. Now, that's good theology right there. So their second goal, they said his knee was ahead, but that's only from one angle where the angle where they're running, he wasn't. I don't freaking get it, but it's really difficult because, Josh, you have all of this technology and everybody's wired and stuff, and they still get it wrong.
Yeah, I
In
mean,
your
that
opinion.
certainly can be true. I would really, I don't know, is your name even on the show sheet?
Your opinion's important, but whether or not it's correct, that's a whole nother question.
Yeah, you guys look at it and you decide for yourself, except for Garrick. He's a rule follower.
I
just
where do you
believe those
get this
people.
rule follower business? I don't know who the heck you're talking about. My goodness, you've said that twice now. I'm like,
Who are you talking
you've
about?
known me for a while, and I'm thinking, what are you talking about?
I am so kidding. I'm so giving you a hard time.
Especially in soccer, like you really need to see an angle from right down the line to really know. because soccer it's not like some other sports where if it touches the line, it's out. Like football, if you step on the line, you're out of bounds. With soccer, for those that don't know, the ball has to be completely on the other side of the line for it to be out of bounds. So you really have to get an angle down the line, especially with the ball above the ground like that. It's really hard to tell from that
good
angle.
point. And that in that Japan goal, that was part of the controversy, that it's not just over the line, it has to be completely over the line. So that's where there was that controversy. But those calls are tough. And Garrick, you play the game all the time. Sometimes you just got to roll with it. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose on the side of controversial calls. Here is a lose-lose situation, though. I'll put this up so you guys can see it. This is sad. So the Iranian soccer team didn't sing their national anthem. They didn't get on their knees. They didn't turn their backs. They didn't refuse to come out. They just weren't singing, right? And that was in protest to some of the human rights atrocities that are taking place in Iran. Now we have it on good authority that they are being threatened with their families to be imprisoned or tortured if these players do not toe the line. They are reportedly in Qatar. There are dozens now of officers from the IRGC that have been drafted into monitoring these players. These players cannot mingle outside the squad, and they cannot meet with foreigners. Hello, can anyone say thank you for the country that I live in? How horrible is that? And the U.S., by the way, will be playing Iran in tomorrow's match.
No, we played them last week.
Oh, I'm sorry. We
Last
played
week
them last week. We beat them. I'm sorry. Completely messed up from watching way too much soccer. Yes, what I meant to say is that we played them in that nail biter. My gosh, the last 9 minutes, I thought I was going to, I couldn't even breathe. The last 9 minutes of stoppage, I'm like, I'm counting the seconds. Blow the whistle. It's crazy, but that's terrible. And yet we have people in the U.S., guys, who turn their back on our national anthem. And it's for what? Do you realize the freedoms that we have here? Great that you have something to say. I stand for it. I wanted to talk about that. And here's what I want to ask you guys. This is horrible. I like your thoughts on this, but there's also some controversy about bands being worn. Like they wouldn't let One Love bands be on, and that's really supporting LGBTQ things, which I'm not behind, but everyone's wearing these Save Our Planet bands. And I'm like, okay, you can save our planet, but you can't save the people. Either let everything in or nothing in. It just seems like a little bit of a mess to me. Thoughts?
I think you're correct that it's a little bit of a mess, but yeah, it's complicated, first of all, but I think you're absolutely right when you say, let it all or let none of it, right? Mm-hmm. Have a traditional captain's band that is just a band, and you can have your national colors on it, but nothing else. And then that would just
everybody let everybody have a little space where they can get their message out on a big stage. I'm okay with that. If it's just a little message, or just keep it sports.
I don't think that you should, because this is not the right place for it. Because I think we talked about this briefly last week, that sports is the one final place on the planet, in my opinion. There might be a couple other places, but it's the one place where it doesn't matter. Actually, church should be that way, but it doesn't matter your socioeconomics. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter your color. It doesn't matter your gender. Any of that stuff. You can come together. You can stand together. You can cheer on your team. But as soon as you start injecting politics into it, which nauseates me beyond belief. And I would feel this way too, even if they started singing hymns. I guess they do that in England. They put their team chants to old hymns.
What about guys who get on once they score a goal, they're down doing the sign of the cross, or they're pointing up to God? Josh, where do you draw the line?
I don't know. It's a hard thing because we've had a lot of debate over this over the years, and even here local in Washington with the coach in Bremerton still trying to get his job back after praying in the middle of the field.
After the
But
game,
see,
though.
the praying in the middle of the field was after the game.
Yep.
And it was completely voluntary. It was not anything that he told his players that they had to do or anything like that.
100% agree. I think that as long as it's respectful and it's not being harmful to other people, like it's really hard for me to tell someone to not. If you're wearing socks with like pigs on them in cop uniforms, that's not exactly respectful.
Who would do that?
But see, here's the problem though, Josh, is that someone has to be the final arbitrator, right? Who's going to say whether or not something's respectful or not. And so either you let anything go, whatever you want, or you just draw a line and you say, okay, let's keep this completely out of the sports and let's just play sports.
And I wish we would, Brent, because honestly, it's a great equalizer. Soccer in particular, while we're lingering here, because it doesn't matter. You could have big guys, big bulky guys, and you can have little guys of my size, men my size, on the same pitch, right? At differing ages. It's a bit of an equalizer in that way. But beyond that, you have different races, you have different ethnicities, socioeconomic, as you were mentioning, Garrick. So that's an equalizer. Why divide us even more?
That's where we're at right now as a society. Is everything has become divisive. And on this issue, it gets a little sticky when you're talking about like celebratory gestures, but I don't want political messages on my uniforms. Guys want to use the platform to promote whatever they want outside of the time of play. I'm all for that, whether I am opposed to their position or not.
100%.
Because
Yeah.
we're so...
if you put something out on Twitter that's objectionable, that's your time and your business. But when you're in the middle of your game, I don't want to see your social justice or even your faith-based statement as part of your uniform you're written out on the back of your uniform as instead of your name or whatever.
And how
you're there.
hard is that? Really? How hard is that? Just one place where we can have a bit of a period, because it's such a big deal. Here's an example. U.S. men's national team is being praised to high heaven because they say it's the most diverse U.S. team in history. But blacks are overrepresented, Hispanics are underrepresented, and there are no Asians. Apparently, Garrick, you didn't get called up.
Yeah, I'm a few decades late for that one. This is the thing that annoys the heck out of me is these guys are not there because of diversity. Okay, they're there because they're freaking good soccer players. All right. And their coach didn't say, okay, you're on the cusp, but you're of a different color, so you get to play.
Exactly.
Sports should be a meritocracy, right? Where the best players get to play. It doesn't matter your color, it doesn't matter your orientation, it doesn't matter any of that stuff. And that's the thing that I love about sports. And that's why sports are getting so screwed up. And that's why people are turning off the NFL and turning off women's basketball and all these things.
Definitely. But
just get back to sports.
There's a few moments.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
There's some breaking news right now for your Seattle Mariners.
Oh, Josh, by the way, is our Mariners expert. Talk to us, Josh.
Do tell, Josh.
Yeah, Jerry DePoto and Justin Hollander just made a big trade, sending Abraham Taro and Jesse Winker to the Brewers for second base Gold Glove winner Colton Wong. So that is filling our need in the middle of the infield with a very much a plus bat.
Diversity.
There you go. Hey, and this guy, by the way, he is a Gold Glove winner at second base, so he is a defensive guy, which is huge because with the shift changes, you need someone that can play. Before, what has been happening at second base, for those that don't know, is that there was the ability to shift to go way over to one side or to go way back into the grass to almost have a fourth outfielder. With the shift change, they have to be on a certain side of the bag, and they have so many players on each side of the bag, so 2 on each side of second base, and you cannot be in the grass when the pitch is thrown. Before, they had some guys that weren't as athletic doing second base, and they could be covered because they could just be back. Now, you need someone with range. You need someone who can play defense. Colton Wong absolutely fits that. He also
You're not
is a plus
Wong,
bat.
Josh.
I'm not Wong. He is also a plus bat, hitting a career line of 262, so hitting above average there with some good home runs. Had 3 home run games before.
That's
So this is a
cool.
guy.
Good contact hitter too, I believe.
Yep, absolutely. So this guy
So
should fit real well with us.
my question is, why would Milwaukee do this? Jesse Winker maybe they're hoping Jesse Winker has a bounce back season, but this last year was a complete loss for him. And Abraham Toro, I guess there's some promise there, but I don't think is Wong like on a short contract or what's?
Wong is on a short contract. This is the final year of his deal. Jesse Winker, I do believe, will have a bounce back season. I think he will be a plus bat. I just think he wasn't a fit in this organization anymore.
Okay.
For a couple of reasons.
Fair.
I think that one, there was some talk that he quit out there for us, which is unfortunate. I think his bat's going to come around. I think the defense is done.
The defense is terrible.
I think with his neck issues and his other injuries, he's a DH, and the Mariners really want to use the DH spot to rotate guys through and play to matchups. They don't want an everyday DH. They're using that spot differently.
It's going to be so exciting next year. It's going to be so exciting.
So I think that the Brewers wanted Jesse Winker because they wanted him to hit. And they wanted Abraham, because remember, Abraham Toro has not spent a lot of time in the bigs. He has a lot of options to be down in AAA. He is a switch hitter who has mashed at the lower levels. And he's hit well here in periods, too, in the bigs. So he definitely has promise. He can play defense. He's a utility infielder, so he can move around to some of those different positions of need. So he's a great piece to have in the organization, similar to how we value Dylan Moore, who can move around. He can play shortstop. He can play in the outfield. Sam Haggerty. He's one of those guys. And we have Demo and Sam Haggerty. Abraham Toro is an extra piece for us. So to me,
it works. It totally works.
I love it. For
we also got a little over $1 million back from the trade. It was almost $2 million, I think, from what I'm seeing.
That's how
And
it
if I'm
went.
spending that, I've got some stuff on my Christmas wish list. We were talking about race, and I wanted to give you guys a couple of stories that I thought were really cool. I think you guys are really going to like this. Based on all the stuff we were talking about, there are 2 sports figures that that had some really good things to say when they had to handle questions about race. One, back to soccer briefly, Tyler Adams totally graciously handled this question. An Iranian journalist had said, how do you play for the U.S.? Basically said, how do you handle with it so much racism against black people? And he used it as a learning moment. He said, because he said Iran, which I just did, and they corrected them and said, no, it's
Iran.
And so he said, okay, I'm sorry, Iran. See, it's a learning moment. He said, guess what? There's racism everywhere, and we all have to learn basically to get along. Then there was Dan Prescott, who was talking about, remember last week we talked about Jerry Jones, and in 1957 as a kid he was in a picture where there was a protest against integration, and so of course LeBron James had to revisit that stuff. But Dak said this. He said, you know what, we need to be more empathetic all the way around and give grace to each other regardless of race. From the time we've come to where we are now, thinking about the growth, that's who I am. And I think optimistically. And I'm like, that's gorgeous. Instead of divisive, it's, let's all show grace. So I wanted to give you guys that. I know we were complaining about protests and armbands and politics and sports. I think that's a great way to handle it, guys.
Yeah, I've thought a lot of Dak Prescott as a person. I am never going to be a Cowboys fan, so I can't really root for him. But
No.
he has always been a very thoughtful and well-spoken on a number of difficult issues. When he was dealing with deep depression coming out of the pandemic, and I think he even talked about idle thoughts, and then he had lost his brother too. He didn't give just like surface answers when people were asking him about it. And obviously someone, I believe, of
respect.
mixed race, he has to deal with some of these questions on a day-to-day, in your face sort of thing. If it's not happening to him, it's being asked of him.
Yeah. And he's stepping up. I like that.
Yeah. But the way he approaches difficult topics and the way he's able to speak from the heart and do so with some depth, I have a great deal of respect for.
What do you guys think about week 13? in the NFL.
NFL.
Yeah, any thoughts? I have a few. Josh,
right.
any ideas?
Broncos country. Let's ride.
Oh, God.
That's right, off the cliff.
Somebody fell off.
Yeah.
The
Well,
problem
hey,
with the Broncos, someone let Russ cook.
Hey, there's the biggest story right now is what's going to happen in this epic race of will Russell Wilson throw more touchdowns than he has bathrooms in his house. Right now, he's not on pace to do it. He has 12 bathrooms and 5 bedrooms in his house. Right now, the bathrooms are winning, and they're feeling very confident.
And you know what? On that line, I'm watching the Kraken game this last week, Seattle's NHL team, and they had a crazy game of 9-8 that they played over the Kings, the LA Kings. And I'm thinking to myself, or someone said to me actually, you know what? We scored more goals than Russell Wilson has in the whole year. And just that one game is like, ouch. Ouch.
Yep.
And
Last week, he was QB 33. So out of all the players that played in last week, he was the 33rd best. There's 32 teams, and I believe 4 were on bye. So,
Josh,
my.
do you think he would have been
math.
Do you think he would have been playing this bad if he were still in Seattle?
No, because Russell Wilson's not a bad quarterback.
No.
Russell Wilson just thinks he's different than what Russell Wilson is.
He's just a bad coach and GM.
Yes, yeah. And here's my hot take. Nathaniel Hackett doesn't need to be fired unless he can figure out a backbone, because they brought Russell Wilson in saying that he could run that system. He could run whatever system he wants. There was tons of talk in the Denver media of how Russ is in charge. He has his own office. Nathaniel Hackett all the time saying that we're using the.
It's all about Russ.
We're all about Russ. We're getting to his plays, the plays he's comfortable with. It's been all about Russ. And Russ wants to be a pocket passer. Russ is not a pocket passer. He doesn't see the middle of the field well from the pocket. And that's what you need to be a pocket passer, because so many of those plays are slants or just where you're scheming open in the middle of the field. He can hit a deep ball better than almost anyone in the NFL. But if you want to get to that deep ball, you got to move the game. You got to move the ball. And Pete Carroll and John Schneider, they saw Russell Wilson and they said, we know how to get the most out of this guy. Look at Pete Carroll before the NFL, before Russell Wilson. He had never done an RPO heavy system. Run pass option was not a heavy system of his before. They started implementing it a ton when they got Russell Wilson, because they said, this guy has legs, he can move, he can get outside the pocket.
Because he knows how to utilize his players,
Yes.
how to pull the best out of them, and how to say no. And that's a hard thing to hear when you're a superstar.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. That's what happened with Russell Wilson. Is he wanted to cook, he wanted to do his system, he argued about the playbook, and Pete Carroll said, we're going to do football my way because I know how to get the best out of you. We heard KJ Wright, who, by the way, KJ Wright has been on 710 every Wednesday.
He's amazing.
He's been phenomenal. Absolutely
KJ.
phenomenal. His interviews are must listen to. His insight is great. He's getting great guests. Like, we're hearing from all kinds of great players that he brings in for that segment too. It's every Wednesday, I think, at 10 a.m. on 710. Go listen to that, because what KJ has to say, what KJ has to say is worth saying. If you're looking for a podcast, it's the Brock and Salk podcast on the Wednesday show. He said, he's brought up lots of times how, like, you have to have the locker room, and Pete Carroll knows how to have the locker room. He knows how to
that's
get
a good point too, Josh,
he
because
tells people, I can get the best out of you. I will always get the best out of you.
because Russ has really lost the locker room, and that's a lot. That's really tough. And guys, how much animosity is there often in the locker room when someone's making like a couple $100 million more than you anyway, and then on top of it you're losing? There's got to be some weirdness there. How would you feel,
Yeah, I think,
Brent?
I was going to say, I think one of the real tough things is that you walk into this locker room new. So those guys don't know you. Those guys are not the ones that you came up with as a young player and battled with together. When he's had new players in the locker room in Seattle, he was the man in the locker room when these other guys came in. So walking into a new situation like that, that's a whole different dynamic that he hadn't had to deal with since he was in college. And now he's coming in. They signed him to this mega deal before he's even played a snap. And the dynamics there is just very different. I think Pete Carroll, there's other guys like this, like Mike Tomlin, I would rank up there. These guys know the essence of coaching is getting each player to be the best version of themselves, to maximize their strengths and to hide their weaknesses.
That sounds like being a pastor, Garrett.
Yeah, and Pete totally, I think we've seen more than ever now in the wake of this, what a genius he is at that. We saw that too with other players who've left for other places.
But look at
like
Gino.
Earl Thomas and Richard Sherman and who was that member? Brandon Browner, the original Legion of Boomer, who left Seattle and then never really amounted to anything after that. So many guys that have left Pete Carroll's system and not been
and
as
dissed it.
effective
They
elsewhere.
dissed it too on top of it. Oh,
And then
who needs that?
and then totally resurrecting Geno Smith's career, who a lot of people just said he was washed up and never was going to amount to anything. And
now, what is he, number 3?
Yeah, I don't know where he'll finish statistically, but this year he's solidly one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league, and has made the decision what the Seahawks will do in the draft next year difficult, because all of a sudden he's a guy you don't necessarily want to lose.
Exactly.
Yeah. Honestly, though, okay. All right.
Oh, Josh.
I like Geno Smith. I think he is an above average quarterback. But if you have a guy that you love in this draft, you got to take him. You got to take him.
Okay.
Like, Geno Smith is probably going to be overpaid this offseason. Unless he completely falls apart. Because I look at his game and I say, yeah, he's good. He can run an exciting offense. He can move it down the field. But I've also seen a lot of dropped picks.
Yeah.
Like, just in the last game, there was 2 drop picks. He should have had a 3-pick game, and he got lucky. And in a lot of those games, I see drop picks. And I say that, like, I'm not hating on him. I think he's great.
You're
I
just
think
being
he's
a
above
realist.
average quarterback, but I am not going to depend on him for my franchise quarterback for the next 5 years. I'd sign him to a 2 or 3 year deal or franchise tag him for a year. But if you have a guy you love in the draft, you got to take him. I don't know if we necessarily use it with what it might be a number 2 pick. In all honesty, this year we might pick 2nd overall, might trade that back. But if you have someone like a Michael Penix sitting there at the end of the 1st round or early 2nd round, man, you got to take him.
I think that's fair. Some other things.
Yeah, I'm not paying Geno Smith $30 million a year for 5 years.
No.
But
no, thank you.
But you can't throw him out altogether. You can't discount it.
He's at least made it a tougher decision, and maybe you get a 2nd or 3rd round quarterback instead of like gambling a number 2 or 3 pick on one of these guys that you really don't know is going to pan out, when there's other positions like defensive line that are usually easier to evaluate accurately and and have a higher percentage of being a successful pick. But at least it's made it a conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Quick question.
I also think the Seahawks like Drew Lock a lot too, and I think that's low key part of their plan.
Oh, okay. Quick question: will Rodgers play this weekend as the Packers take on the Bears? He had a rib injury. Is he done? What's up?
I don't know
ask
if he's
his
done,
Blue Moon. What's her name?
Yeah.
His girlfriend.
Let's see if she's sprinkled enough sage on him to exorcise the demons from his game.
I know. What a name! What a name!
Yeah. I think that that they should see what they have in if they were smart, they would see what they have in Jordan Love.
Why not?
Because I think that I don't know if Rodgers is done. I think he could probably still play. But I think that relationship has just had so many downs. It's had ups and downs. It's had so many downs.
Some
they
of these
move
QBs, I think they play well beyond they should have retired. Brady, he should have gone out in a flame of glory. He really should have.
Yeah, I think part of that was the reporter that reported his retirement before he did, and he's like,
"Why not?
Just to spite him, I'm gonna play another season." Also, being with my family is a little bit too stressful. I'd rather get hit by 400-pound mammoth.
Sorry. Cut this part out because I just have to laugh at that. That's crazy. I wanted to share with you guys a couple because of time. There is one game I wanted to share with you. I just thought this was really funny. Seattle Kraken. I follow the Kraken. I'm watching the game, that crazy game where they played the Kings, and they won 9-8. But Allison Lukin, she is probably my favorite female reporter for a number of reasons. We've had a hard go as women being taken seriously. And as I alluded to at the beginning of the show, even now you have talk shows and there's just some cute girl who's there and they introduce stuff and they read stuff off, but they don't really get to talk and give their opinions. That's starting to change. And then you have reporters. But this woman, she is so smart. She dresses professionally. It's not about being, hi, I'm hot. It's about looking professional. She has great things to say. But this last broadcast, it was hilarious. Because of this a 9-8 score, which is crazy in hockey. She said, the fellow commentator said, what do you think about that? And she said, it's just shitty hockey. Shinny. She said shitty, but it didn't sound like that. And the guy's face, he's, ugh. And they came back from a commercial and they said, hey, she said, you know what? There is no swearing going on here. Shinny is an actual phrase and it means kind of like street hockey. But that was my favorite. And I think that almost gets my final shot, which it is about time for right now. What's that, Garrick?
Before we do that, Michelle, we speaking of the Kraken, we have a collector's item available.
That was going to be part of my final shot.
Was that going to be part of your final shot? All right.
Yeah, just rain on my parade. It's okay.
I'll let you do that. It's okay.
That's okay. It's a good point. I have a picture of it up here that I want to share with the audience. Tell them what we're talking about, Garrick.
There's an organization I serve on the board for, the Northwest Family Life, that works with victims of domestic violence and human trafficking. And the great thing about this organization is that they don't just deal with victims, but they actually are trying to break the cycle of domestic violence, in that they're working with children, because so often children who experience and witness domestic violence themselves become abusers. And they work with abusers themselves too, who are trying to get out of the cycle of domestic violence. And so they help them. They have support groups for them and just teach them practical skills to deal with anger issues and things like that. So this is a great organization. And as a part of their year-end fundraiser, they had donated to them an inaugural season autographed hockey stick by the Kraken team.
I want this. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I put $50 as an opening bid, so keep me up on it.
It's up to $250, and then we're going to push it out actually over this weekend. And we were originally going to end the auction today, but we thought, you know what, we need to get a little more exposure for this.
Let's do it.
And so we're going to push this out, and it's on my Facebook page. So if you go to Garrick Pang on Facebook, even if you're not a friend of mine, you can still bid on it. And
there's some people out there who aren't your friend? You're like the friendliest guy on the flipping planet. How are there still people out there that aren't your friend?
Facebook limited me to 50,000.
Oh, okay. So this is all of the players signed it, and this is so cool. So yeah, I'm gonna up my bid after the show today, and I encourage you to go and look, and we'll see who gets to walk away with this completely cool treasure, because this is inaugural year. An NHL team doesn't have a first year anymore very often. There's 32 teams. We're number 32 with the Seattle Kraken. This is cool. This will never happen again. And 100 years from now, do you know how much that's going to be worth? Oh my gosh. How cool is that? Can't beat it. So there you go. We'll make sure we have a link for you're listening to this best that we can. Let's go to our final shot. Garrick, do you have another final shot?
I do, actually.
Okay.
Some of you know that if you follow basketball, which I'm not a huge basketball fan, but this caught my attention. Joe Mazzulla, what's his name? The Celtics interim head coach, Joe Mazzulla.
No one's piping in. We're going to just let you have fun with that.
Yeah, thank you.
I like that. Thank you, friends. Now he just has room for 3 more friends on Facebook.
Right. But I can't believe, first of all, this guy, he is, how old is he? He's like a kid anyway, but he was just named the coach of the month for the Eastern Conference. But that's not why he's getting my final shot. I'm going to pull this up here on screen, and I'll let you watch what he said in a post-game interview. So let me just share this screen. All right, and share the sound. All right, can you guys see this?
Yep.
And action.
A chance to meet with the royal family, and if not, how was it like having them there?
Can you hear that?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?
The Prince and Princess of Wales.
Oh, no, I did not. I'm only familiar with one royal family. I don't know too much about that one. Thank you. But I'm glad hopefully they're Celtic fans. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh my, that's really good.
Got him.
About a mic drop.
They're like, what? Awkward. That's glorious. I like it.
So that was my little Christmas tribute.
Royal family, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? I'm only familiar with one royal family. There's the God story right there. Happy Christmas to you. Josh, are you ready for your final shot?
Yeah, I sent you a video if you want to pull that up while I'm teeing it up for
Okay,
you.
you
Here.
just
It's on
tell me where
Facebook.
you sent it. Was it on Facebook?
Yeah, I sent it on Facebook if you want to tee it up. My final shot is I miss having football in Oakland. I think the Raiders are an Oakland team, and it's weird having them in Vegas. But there's one reason
Thank
in
you.
particular that I really miss having them, and it's because the wildlife added to the game in ways that they've never had in any other spot. In this video she's trying to pull up here, we have a pigeon who is helping out on kickoff coverage.
That's right.
This was a great game that happened. I don't know if you have the sound for it, but the call for it is great too, because they're mentioning how, look, he's lined up there, flies at the kickoff, and he goes all the way down, plays outside coverage, gets the contain, make sure no one gets outside the numbers on the kickoff
This
return.
is funny. All right. Sorry about the sound. We'll see if we get it here.
Out for kickoff coverage with our friend, the pigeon, and he's lining up. Is he L2 or L3?
I think he's L4. He's outside the numbers.
And he's flying down
Look
the
at him. He's
field.
going down the cover.
Janikowski's kickoff return by Quentin Dents. Stumbled as he got to the 20.
He is on cue. Watch him go on coverage. All right, fellas, go.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm telling you.
This is great.
He's going to watch him come down to a landing. He's got contained. He's going to be the contained guy.
That's hilarious.
Not letting anything get outside him on that kick return.
John Fossil, special teams coordinator, said he was going to come up with a plan for the
Right?
So where's the flag for too many players on the field?
Right.
An ineligible pigeon downfield.
Yeah, look, the look in his eye too. He's ready to go. He's going to tackle someone. If he had the opportunity, someone comes outside those numbers, he was going right in their face.
That's funny. Fred, final shot.
Well, my is a final shot at, not for. But I don't know how many of you read about this women's college basketball tournament that they allegedly held in Las Vegas. In the basement ballroom where they did, there's stuff they do in ballrooms in Vegas. It's pretty impressive. You would never know without, but this was a low ceilinged carpeted floor. They laid down the court on top of the floor. They didn't have bleachers. They had folding chairs. They didn't even have scoreboards. And this was a major college tournament. You know,
Could they have not gone to like a local high school and ended up with a better court than that?
I've been to junior high wrestling matches that had better facilities than this. It was a complete joke, and especially in Vegas, you can't tell me that they couldn't have found someplace better than this. You talk about how difficult it can be at times for women in the sports world. And there's no way that major college men's teams would have tolerated this setup. I'm actually surprised that the teams didn't just refuse to play. There doesn't seem to have been much talk of that, but it went beyond the facility too. They didn't even have medical personnel on hand. There was one woman who fell and smashed her head on the court, and it took an hour. She laid there for an hour waiting for EMTs to arrive. Unfortunately, she wasn't severely hurt, but
Still,
it's just
on.
insane how, on any level, how bad
And
this
that's
was.
honestly.
And the tournament organizer for this tournament in Vegas was in Florida during the tournament.
Oh, nice.
So wasn't even
Not even
present
there.
for it.
And that's where standing up on the side of what is right. And if there is a right and a wrong, it only comes because there's an ultimate right and wrong. And that's a biblical right and wrong. When we celebrate, if you look at how the Bible really treats women, not the rumors, but you look at how Jesus treated women and how God made accommodations for some of the misogynistic practices in biblical times, it's extraordinary. And I say that because we're in a time where women in sports have been denigrated. Now men are so good at everything, they're even better at being women. Thank you. This is where, and we don't know what is a woman anyway. This is where it's important to take a stand for what's right. Guys, I want to thank you for making time today. It is so much fun. I love getting together with you guys. And as a side note, Brent and Garrick and I were at church last week and got to go have lunch afterwards. But it's funny, we see each other every week, but that's the first time we've actually physically been together there.
All three of us. Yeah,
All three of us together. Yeah.
It was fabulous. It was just fabulous. So thank you guys. I love you so much. And as we get into the Christmas spirit and remember the importance of family and the importance of faith, it just makes your friendships and the people you love so much more important. So thank you guys for being part of the fun. God bless you, and thank you for watching. And God bless you.
For more fun, go to MyMichelleLive.com.